In an age where wars are fought with code as much as with guns, one of the world's poorest and most isolated nations has mastered a modern weapon: hacking. From dimly lit rooms in Pyongyang to hidden offices abroad, North Korean operatives have quietly siphoned billions of dollars in cryptocurrency, infiltrated foreign companies, and built one of the most sophisticated cyber programs on the planet. Their mission isn't merely theft, it's survival. These digital heists fund nuclear weapons, missile tests, and the regime that wields them. This is the story of how the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or DPRK, turned cyberspace into its most powerful economic lifeline. In October 2025, a 138-page report by the Multilateral Sanctions Monitoring Team, a coalition formed after the UN Security Council's monitoring panel was dissolved, laid bare the scale of North Korea's cyber operations. The group includes the United States, Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the Netherlands, New Zealand, South Korea, and the United Kingdom. According to the report, officials in Pyongyang directly oversee clandestine cyber work to finance nuclear research and ballistic missile development. The authors write that North Korea has turned cyber theft into a central pillar of its national economic strategy. The findings also confirmed what Western intelligence agencies have long suspected, that North Korea's cyber program now rivals that of China and Russia in sophistication. Despite the DPRK's isolation, outdated infrastructure, and limited internet access. Over the past 5 years, North Korea's state-sponsored hackers have looted staggering sums from cryptocurrency exchanges, blockchain bridges, and fintech firms. Analysts estimate cumulative theft exceeding $6 billion between 2021 and 2025. In 2024 alone, roughly $1,340 million stolen across 47 known incidents. In 2025 so far, by September, crypto tracking firms recorded over $2 billion stolen already, a figure that could surpass $4 billion by year's end. The largest single heist in 2025 targeted Bybit, a Singapore-based exchange, where hackers stole $1.46 billion in Ethereum, later traced to North Korean intelligence operatives. Earlier operations include the Ronin network hack of 2022, which drained $620 million, and the Horizon Bridge breach, which netted another $100 million. These thefts collectively make North Korea the world's most prolific state-sponsored crypto thief, responsible for roughly 1/3 of all digital asset hacks in recent years. The DPRK's hacking activities are coordinated by its Reconnaissance General Bureau, the country's primary intelligence agency. Under the RGB operate multiple specialized units, including the notorious Lazarus Group, APT-38, and Kimsuky. Lazarus Group gained global infamy for the 2017 WannaCry ransomware attack, which infected more than 200,000 computers in 150 countries, crippling hospitals, banks, and businesses. 38 APT focuses on financial institutions, targeting SWIFT banking networks and crypto platforms. Kimsuky, meanwhile, conducts espionage, stealing data from think tanks, governments, and media outlets. According to defectors and Western intelligence, these units recruit top math and computer science graduates, train them for years, and deploy them abroad, often to China, Russia, or Southeast Asia, to work under false identities. By 2024, intelligence agencies estimated that North Korea employed between 7,000 and 8,400 cyber operatives, including several thousand posing as freelance IT workers. One of North Korea's most ingenious and least understood schemes involves fake remote workers. Thousands of North Korean IT professionals have applied for jobs in Western tech firms, often using forged documents and stolen identities. These operatives pose as developers or software engineers from China, South Korea, or Eastern Europe. Secure remote contracts with US or European companies. Gain access to corporate systems, source code, or customer data. Funnel salaries and profits back to Pyongyang through crypto wallets and shell accounts. In 2023, the FBI estimated that over 3,000 companies may have unknowingly hired North Koreans using falsified credentials. The US Justice Department later unsealed indictments against several intermediaries accused of operating laptop farms, offices filled with rented computers used to mimic legitimate remote workers. Some individuals held multiple jobs simultaneously, earning six-figure salaries while quietly transmitting both income and proprietary code to the DPRK government. Once stolen, cryptocurrency must be cleaned, and North Korea has become adept at laundering it. Hackers frequently move stolen tokens through mixers such as Tornado Cash and Sinbad.io, which scramble blockchain trails. The UN reported in May 2024 that $147.5 million in stolen funds had been laundered via Tornado Cash in just 1 month. From there, assets are often converted into stablecoins, then cashed out through over-the-counter brokers in China or Russia, countries that maintain limited enforcement cooperation with Western regulators. Some funds are even exchanged for physical goods, such as computer chips, radar components, and raw materials used in missile development, allowing North Korea to evade sanctions that restrict direct arms or tech imports. Why does North Korea invest so heavily in hacking? The answer is simple: survival under sanctions. Since 2006, the UN has imposed 11 rounds of sanctions targeting Pyongyang's weapons programs, coal and metal exports, and financial transactions. With its legitimate trade nearly cut off, the regime turned to cybercrime as a low-cost, high-yield alternative. The return on investment is enormous. Training a cyber operative may cost the regime only $10,000 to $20,000, yet a single successful hack can yield hundreds of millions of dollars. Analysts at Chainalysis estimate that proceeds from cyber operations now account for 10 to 15% of North Korea's GDP, a lifeline that keeps the country's nuclear ambitions alive despite crippling economic isolation. The fallout extends far beyond lost cryptocurrency. The US Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency has linked DPRK malware to attacks on hospitals, energy utilities, and critical infrastructure, sometimes disrupting services that affect human lives. In 2022, North Korean hackers breached an aerospace contractor in South Korea, stealing satellite design data later believed to have aided Pyongyang's own satellite program. Security analysts say North Korea's cyber operations now include psychological warfare and disinformation campaigns, echoing tactics used by Russia but with a financial motive. Unlike China or Russia, which often pursue espionage or political disruption, North Korea's primary cyber objective remains financial gain, to directly fund state operations. In recent years, global law enforcement agencies have intensified efforts to track and freeze stolen funds. The FBI, Interpol, and the US Treasury Department have jointly sanctioned dozens of crypto wallets linked to North Korea. The US has offered rewards of up to $5 million for information leading to the disruption of DPRK cyber operations. Exchanges such as Binance and Coinbase have strengthened their Know Your Customer measures to block North Korean activity. Still, the decentralized nature of crypto makes complete enforcement nearly impossible. For every account frozen, analysts say 2 or 3 new ones appear under different names or through new platforms. North Korea's cyber apparatus does not operate in isolation. The monitoring report notes that the DPRK receives indirect technical assistance from individuals in Russia and China, who may provide hosting infrastructure, VPNs, or financial intermediaries. Moscow's and Pyongyang's growing partnership underscored by Kim Jong-un's 2024 visit to Vladivostok, has raised fears of joint cyber cooperation. Western intelligence believes the two states may exchange digital expertise for weapons or energy support. In Southeast Asia, countries such as Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines have also reported arrests of North Koreans involved in money laundering and IT contract schemes. Experts warn that the threat is still expanding. The DPRK is reportedly developing AI-assisted hacking tools and using machine learning to automate phishing, making its attacks faster and more scalable. The multilateral monitoring team's report calls for stronger vetting of remote workers worldwide, coordinated sanctions on enablers and intermediaries, shared international databases of crypto wallet addresses linked to Pyongyang. But the reality is stark. Shutting down North Korea's cyber operations would require closing off much of the global crypto ecosystem, a near impossible task. North Korea's cyber story is one of paradox. A country where only a fraction of citizens have internet access has become a superpower in cyberspace. Its hackers sit among the world's elite, not because of vast resources, but because of desperation, discipline, and state backing. Each stolen Bitcoin or Ethereum token is more than just a digital crime. It's a contribution to missile fuel, uranium enrichment, or the maintenance of a regime that has outlasted decades of sanctions. As the digital frontier becomes the new battlefield, one fact remains uncomfortably clear. The most dangerous weapon North Korea wields today may not be nuclear at all, but virtual.